Oh, I love opening night and all the crazy.
Oh, I know, so fun. Don't forget, CBS Los Angeles is your home for Super Bowl 58 with coverage all this week before the big game. And on Sunday, you can watch the Chiefs take on the Niners on CBS LA with coverage beginning at 3 p.m.
All right, time to take a coffee break before you have those brewskis ahead of the game. We're tossing it over to Paul with a very alarming study on the impact of global warming.
And the net result of this story, I actually disagree with.
Oh, really?
But I think it's something that we should talk about.
Okay.
Hurricanes, they're getting more intense.
Yep.
They're getting more intense quicker. And some people say we'll need an entirely new scale to measure hurricanes. The worst hurricanes now fall into Category 5. They're 1 through 5. We go tropical depression, tropical storm, Category 1 through 5 hurricane. That includes any storm where winds are at or above 157 miles per hour. That is very destructive. In this new study, some scientists say we should add a Category 6 for when winds hit above 192 miles per hour. Under this new proposed scale, 5 hurricanes in the last 40 years would have already been a Category 6. This new research shows intense hurricanes may happen more often as the world grows warmer, the oceans have more heat content.
Okay, so what do you disagree with?
My contention is that people will look at the scale and they'll see that Category 5 is no longer the highest and not take it as seriously, even though you'll have 10 times more. It's only a Category 5.
Right.
And we should never say that, because Category 5s will knock a house off a foundation. That's, in my opinion, already strong enough. I never would want to minimize the impact of a Category 5.
Well,
I've never been in a hurricane. Have you guys been in one before?
Many.
Yes, many. I lived in Florida for almost 7 years. And you grew up there. But
I grew up there, and I've worked there, and I've covered hurricanes all over the East Coast and Gulf Coast. But isn't it helpful for people to know the intensity, that this is even worse than the low-grade Category 5 that you may have experienced before?
I think I've seen, though, what he's talking about. Even, like, what was the hurricane that hit Fort Myers, Florida a couple years ago? I remember people saying, oh, it's just a Category 3. Oh, it's just a Category 3, which, as you know, growing up there, is a horrific hurricane.
Right.
And then what we saw happen was that it intensified over the warm waters of the Gulf and became, I believe,
and we live in a
stronger than
world
that.
with social media and people, it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah.
A Category 5 hurricane, just go back and Google Hurricane Andrew, Homestead,
I
Florida.
remember it. I
That
remember
was a
it.
Category 5.
Well, if I ever need
the
questions
town
about
was
hurricanes,
gone.
ask you guys.
Yeah, how about Superstorm Sandy, as we've renamed it, because it was a hurricane. It got downgraded, but that caused significant damage throughout New York City.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's interesting.
Good debate, guys.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I'm
much to say.
Coffee break on this
Things
topic. Okay, so we always have to talk about Taylor Swift multiple times in morning. So here we go.
We have to move on to something.
Yeah, exactly. So she's up female viewership, of course, for the NFL. We've talked about this. And brands, no surprise, are paying really big bucks to catch all of these women's eyes this weekend. According to Axios, several beauty and health food brands have bought up the ads for the Super Bowl, some for the first time ever.
Interesting.
NYX Cosmetics is featuring Cardi B in its big game debut. Dove will have a commercial after an 18-year hiatus, and e.l.f. Cosmetics will launch only their second Super Bowl commercial ever, this time with the cast of Suits. These ads are a huge effort to reach female consumers since they are not cheap. A 30-second ad costs around $7 million.
It's the Taylor Swift effect on the economy once again.
I mean, they know that women will be watching, and women watch the Super Bowl regardless. I like to watch for the commercials, but they're going to have that much more attention because of the Taylor Swift
I wonder how much
effect.
the commercials actually help. Like with Dove, you
Yeah.
see it everywhere. You see commercials all over the place, and they've always been targeting towards women. So I'm curious to see if it really helps with that Taylor effect.
You wonder what the Taylor Swift effect is. And some people, no. There are companies buying ads and spending
Millions.
7 figures simply because her boyfriend is playing in the game. That is a tangible dollar and cents.
And
look what she does for ratings in the NFL.
I was going to say, and all the NFL, debate about the cameras like spotting her. Well, I guess the proof is in the advertising.
And it's on our air, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
there's always an it person, and she just happens to be that person right now. So.
Exactly. Okay,
Kudos to you.
Gen Z has another bone to pick with us millennials.
Yeah. What have we done now?
What's next?
This one has to do with how we carry our money. New report from an online payment hub found 80% of Gen Z consumers do not carry a physical wallet.
What?
No credit cards, no cash.
No way.
Some don't even carry a physical ID. That's because the generation is increasingly relying on digital wallets like Apple Pay. The reason most businesses accept the payment form and they already carry their phone with them everywhere, so why have a wallet? Most debit and credit cards can be added onto Apple Pay, while digital ID availability depends on where you live. I have to say, I was interested in the story because when I first was interviewing for my job at the network, I sat down to lunch and the person interviewing me said, you know, I get people in here all the time who say they want to be a network correspondent. Do you have your passport on you? And I was able to dig out my wallet and go right here. So there are instances
where you want
to have your wallet with you.
It's so funny. I'm such a millennial, I guess, because when I leave the house without a credit card, I have a few moments of panic. Like, how am I going to get something if I need something? Like, oh, I have my phone. I wonder if that will work. It still isn't the norm for me yet, and some places still don't take
Yeah, that is true.
So it feels a little risky.
And if there's
to
an
me.
emergency, I want cash.
That is true. I don't carry my wallet. I am not Generation Z. I mean, it's on my phone, which is bad, but I like the idea
Like all your
of,
IDs and everything
Well, I've
are
got
right
one ID and then my debit card.
And have you run into an issue where you wanted to buy something and couldn't?
No, because I got my debit card, or I can use the Apple
The
Pay.
debit card, okay.
I don't like that.
That just-
I like my pockets empty. Paul, he's got one of
Got a
those
wallet.
thick wallets. Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, pictures of your kids,
and
you got
this
everything.
will further the generational divide. If I left my phone at home, I'd be like, oh, I'm with my loved ones, I'll be okay. If I don't have my wallet, I gotta go back.
Yeah.
And that's probably the exact opposite.
Of what
At a
they're
certain
thinking.
age or younger,
Yep.
leave the wallet at home, gotta have the phone.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, there you go. All right, let's talk about burgers. You know what it takes to make the best burger?
No.
We got to go through this one fast. Well, if you do, Burger King, they want to hear from you. The fast food chain is holding $1 million Whopper competition. So you could win $1 million if you create the best one. You can pick the best combination for the burger, and the chain says there's more than 200,000 ways to make a Whopper. So you can't be too creative. Contestants must submit their order by March 17th, but if you don't win the money, you'll still get one free Whopper with any purchase just by sending in your idea.
Oh,
that is
well, that's
marketing.
not bad.
Do you guys like? Are you Whopper fans?
Yeah, they have the Impossible Whopper now.
Okay,
That
yeah.
is so good. You
Okay.
can't tell the difference. Like sometimes you take a bite and you're like, I think you maybe gave me the wrong one.
And
so,
it's-
yeah.
They're actually really good. I had
Yeah.
a Whopper for the first time in a long time 6 months ago. $20 for 2 Whoppers. Remember
got
when
me.
they were
Where
99
were
cents?
you?
Yeah, where were you?
What part of New York were you in?
It was, yeah, in Hollywood. The Sunset one in Hollywood.
Wow.
$20. I'm like, all right, there's inflation
Did
for
you
you.
get fries with that at least?
No fries.
Did you get the paper
man.
crown like
No,
on your
but
birthday?
I wanted one.
All right. That is today's coffee break.
CBS News Los Angeles, your local news, streaming wherever, whenever.